All right, well, good evening, Queen City Toastmasters. I will now call our meeting to order, and I'm acting as our Sergeant at Arms tonight since Cameron couldn't join us. So welcome. I don't really have any fun facts for the day. I'm happy to be back in Charlotte. I spent a weekend in New York City with my 3 kids. First time visiting New York City. I was telling Eric, we had some amazing, unique New York experiences. We also had some amazing, unique New York experiences. We took the subway. We got there Friday night. We took the subway on Saturday morning, not super early, like 10 a.m. from like Midtown East down to the Brooklyn Bridge. And we were on the 6th line heading south. And the second to last stop before we got off on the Brooklyn Bridge, a naked dude walked on the subway with a cardboard hat, looked around, kind of, I mean, he didn't even wave. He didn't even acknowledge us, but just turned around, walked right back off again. And I got my arm around the 8-year-old, so she was at least spared that visual. But the 11 and the 13-year-old, they saw all of it. So it's like, welcome to New York. All right, we're going to get our meeting started. So I'm going to welcome our presiding officer, Toastmaster President, Eric Laxer.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jamie. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. We are delighted that everyone is here to get our meeting started tonight. I have one order of business I'm going to do before we interview our guests. And I think I want to check with Alex. Did you get a welcome to Toastmasters ribbon? That was the easiest order of business I probably will ever have to do here. Okay, well, welcome once again. So we're going to start the meeting off by giving our guests an opportunity to introduce themselves, to tell them how they found our club and anything else they want to share. And I see one guest over here who we know. Rockney, do you want to share anything with us tonight?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rockney. Just wanted to come back out. Been coming to these consecutively. Well, not consecutively, consistently. And I started to opt out because of the weather and holiday, but I was able to get off work early enough to come in. So I'll just leave early in the morning. So I'm just excited just to be here and, you know, be around individuals that want to improve their speaking skills. So I'm just excited for tonight. So.
Alan, do you want to introduce yourself? You have an announcement. You're going to keep us in suspense for a little while. I'm going to be passing this around. As many of you know, we have our open house in 2 weeks, and we have some additional roles that people can play. We'd like to get as many members to participate and help with something as possible. If you're not sure that you want to do anything on here, you can just not sign up for now and just let me know by email, but I will pass this around. So once it goes to your table, you could pass it on to the next table. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Without further ado, I am delighted to introduce this evening's Toastmaster, who is our new member, and we have already seen her up at the front of the room doing an excellent job with whatever roles she has played. She's going to share her theme with us and run the meeting, and I know we will all give her a lot of encouragement and support. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to this evening's Toastmaster, Moumita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Eric, for the introduction and giving me an opportunity to serve as the Toastmaster of the day for the club. Good evening, Toastmaster and dear guests. Before we start with the theme of the session today, I want to explain the agenda of Toastmaster session. Toastmaster session has 3 parts. The first part is the prepared speeches. The second part is the table topics. And the third part is the evaluation or the feedback session. So before the theme of today's Toastmaster session is holiday. Everyone loves holiday, even if it is for one day or for a month. When the new year starts, the first thing we look for, most of us, we look for is the calendar, the holiday calendar. All of us are happy to put our out of office emails. No, that makes us very happy. So we'll go ahead with when the session proceeds. We'll go ahead, and I would like some of you to come over here and share your holiday experiences. But before that, I would like to invite the role players uh, to the role players of today's session, and I would like to welcome the grammarian of today, Toastmaster. Okay, sorry for that, I have messed it. So I would like to welcome Toastmaster Bill Fountain for inspirational thought master and to provide some inspirational thought to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Again, I'm Bill Fountain, and I'm happy to be here with my fellow Toastmasters and honored guest. I want to talk a little bit about wisdom. It's something that has fascinated me over the years. And it's one of those, I guess it's one of these things where as you grow in age, you're expected to gain wisdom. And unfortunately, I don't think I've been able to do that. In fact, I often find myself speaking and then thinking about, oop, I shouldn't have said that. But one of the things I do agree with is that I found in Proverbs 1:7 a theme about that. And it says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but the fools despise wisdom and instruction. So I said, wow. So fear is essentially what that was, is understanding or appreciating the awesomeness of God. And so I said, well, maybe I'm getting kind of close to that. So one of the things that also is that since wisdom takes on many different forms and is very difficult therefore to define, and I was looking and I found out that St. Thomas Aquinas referred to it as being able to, as I guess they called it, right judgment in accord with the eternal law, which I guess is what he's trying to say in my language, is that seeing things as God sees them, which I said, whoa, that means you got to be kind of close to God. So if we take a look at the different type of things that we learn in the way of wisdom, then I think this is something that is, I think is one of the important things that I want to be able to get, because they found a study that the people who scored high in wisdom had a cognitive strength to be able to acquire knowledge and use it in creative ways. And I said, okay, that's pretty good. So, and in fact, there's a secular study that came up with 5 different strengths that are associated with wisdom. The first one is creativity, and that is thinking of ways to do things in new ways. And the next one is curiosity, is having that, I guess, is trying to taking advantage or to go out and look for different things that may be of interest and widen your field of view of different things. And the other one is open-mindedness. And that is when you're examining things, you look at it from all the different sides rather than just a narrow view. And so you look at things and so you want to think things through. The next one is the love of learning. And sometimes I really enjoy just getting into, in fact, I just did a course on chemistry, which I had a difficult time in college in. But why am I doing that? I don't know. I just had an urge to do that. And then the next one is, I guess, is called perspective, and that's being able to give wise counsel to people, and to look at things in a little bit broader, in a wider view. So these are type of things I think there are 5 attractive strengths that we may want to start thinking about. And so my encourage you then is to think about growing in wisdom and be able to use these strengths so that you can use that in your work and in your lives. And it's going to help you be able to make decisions and sustaining your successes, and also being to reinforce your relationships. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bill, for the wise words. Now I would like to welcome the grammarian of today, Toastmaster Kendall, to come and explain his role.
All right. Good evening, Queen City. Um, Thank you, Toastmaster Moumita. Did I say it right? Okay. Good evening, Toastmasters and honored guests. I'm the grammarian today. So it's my responsibility as a grammarian to take note of any improper language use. So that's taking note of filler language, filler words like so, like, you know, and noting that down. I'm going to give a grammarian report at the end of the meeting. Another duty of the grammarian is to give the word of the day, excuse me. And the word of the day is some tape. There we go.
See, how does it go?
Either
I think that way.
vertical.
Sorry, got a pretty custom.
All right. The word of the day is solidarity. In my colorful markers that they had at the office today. Solidarity. So solid. Can you see it? Make sure it wasn't upside down. So solidarity means unity as a group or class that produces or is based on community of interests, objectives, and standards, otherwise known as kinship, collaboration, or cohesion. So an example of using this word is there is solidarity between all of us in Toastmasters that is rooted. Well, sorry. There is solidarity between all of us in Toastmasters that is rooted in our desire to become better public speakers. Yeah, so if you, we encourage everybody to use the word, and if you do, there's a nice little rumble on the table there. And that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kendall. Now I would like to welcome Toastmaster Martin. He'll be playing the role of timer. Come explain.
Thank you, Toastmaster Moumita. It seems tonight I've committed the third cardinal sin of Toastmasters. First one, obviously, using filler words. Second one, which I'm going to speak about, being late or not finishing up on time. And the third cardinal sin, you're probably wondering, didn't bring my name tag today. 2 weeks ago, I stole it from the back table there. Forgot to bring it back. But anyways, so today I'll be filling in for the timer role at Toastmasters. So why is being on time important, you may ask? Well, I was kind of thinking about it in the 1 minute that I had before I knew that I was kind of taking on this role. And I thought about it and I'm thinking, well, I'm a young guy. I'm on my phone all the time. I'm being hit with dopamine, instant gratification many times. So in order to get a message across to me, it needs to be delivered concisely and to the point. So with that said, in today's world, we can't mumbo jumbo anymore. We can't go on forever. We have to get to the point and get there concisely. So with that said, I'll be keeping time. So for our formal speeches tonight, Graham, you'll have formal speeches. First one is between 5 and 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll hold up the green card. At 6 minutes, the yellow, and at 7, the red. Miss Chocolate Butterfly. Don't know where she is right now, but for her, she's doing a longer speech. So she's gonna have 10 minutes at, green at 10 minutes. Yellow one is gonna be at 11. And then at 12 minutes, I'll hold up the red. For our table topics today, they're all the same. At 1 minute, I'm gonna hold up the green. At 1 minute 30, yellow. And then at 2 minutes, I'm gonna hold up the red. And then finally, for our evaluators, at 2 minutes, I'm gonna hold up the green card. 2:30, the yellow, and then 3, I'm gonna hold up the red. So without further ado, I'll turn it over back to Toastmaster
Moumita, and let's get the show on the road.
Thank you, Martin. Now I would like to welcome to, Toastmaster for general evaluation. I would like to welcome Toastmaster Tom to come and explain and his role. Oh, okay. Fine. So we'll start with the prepared speeches, the first part of the Toastmaster session. So we'll invite our speaker one, Toastmaster Graham, and he'll be giving his pathway dynamic leadership, understanding your leadership style, and his project title is demystifying the concept of leadership.
Thanks, Toastmaster of the Day, Moumita. And welcome, Toastmaster members and guests, both here and on Zoom. And to begin with, I'll start with a quote by the late President Dwight D. Eisenhower, also World War II general, about leadership. So leadership is the art of getting someone else to do something that you want done because they want to do it. That's a lot of words there, but he's humorously pointing at the essence of leadership, which I'll get into shortly. To begin with, this assignment involved three things. First, understanding what the concept of leadership actually is. Two, being aware of the concept of different leadership styles and what those leadership styles are. And then lastly, discovering what my personal dominant and preferred leadership style is and how I can incorporate other leadership styles to my life. And my hope is that from this speech, you'll reflect upon your own leadership experiences and abilities and be curious about exploring how you can incorporate other leadership styles to benefit your personal and professional life. And firstly, in order to dive into a concept, you first have to define what that concept actually is. What is leadership? In the past few years, that word has almost seemed like a corporate or self-development buzzword, being so frequently used and broadly used at times that I've questioned on what exactly leadership is. And according to the Toastmasters website, it defines leadership as effectively empowering others to achieve personal goals and also contributing to the successful completion of group objectives. For example, if you're a Little League coach, Little League soccer coach, helping the group objective of getting the team to win the game and have a winning season, but also helping each player with their individual goals of building upon their strengths and working on skills that might, have an area of improvement. And in the professional sphere, if you're a project manager, helping the group objective of getting the project done on time and keeping the team excited and enthused about achieving that, but also providing feedback for each team member and helping them improve upon their skills. And in addition to that definition of leadership, I also found out that there's about 5 common core qualities that make a successful leader. And I realized through Toastmasters, we're all building each of these. So number 1, being an effective communicator. That's obvious. That's pretty much the premise of Toastmasters. 2, leading by example, practicing what you preach, and modeling the behavior that you would want other people to emulate. 3, being optimistic about achieving goals and staying optimistic, during obstacles or setbacks, which can be challenging, but you kind of want to keep your team's morale up. And then the last 2, staying open-minded. So being open to new ideas, not just, being heavy-handed with your own way of doing things, and fostering solidarity among your team. And then lastly, demonstrating integrity. So sticking to your word, giving credit to others, and acting ethically. And despite this overarching definition and core qualities of leadership, I learned about the concept of leadership styles and how the essence of leadership can be expressed multiple ways based on your own personal qualities and the people you're leading and the situation. So there's not just one way to do things. And a few examples of this: on one end of the spectrum, there's something called the bureaucratic leadership style. It's a little more heavy-handed, stringently establishing rules and enforcing these rules. And this might be more relevant in situations where there's short timelines on deliverables, and there might be pretty severe consequences to making mistakes or errors. However, this could be counterproductive when you're dealing with longer timelines or with a team of more highly skilled and creative individuals. Then a little different, there's one called the innovative leadership style. And this is more about sharing a vision and goals for the future and nurturing the creativity among your team to kind of come up with creative problem solving methods and encouraging that kind of collaboration. And this could be more counterproductive though when you're working with kind of in the aforementioned situation, and also where mindful risk taking is encouraged so people don't worry that their own ideas might have adverse effects for them and the team. And then this leads me to what I discovered my own dominant and preferred leadership style was, which was coaching. And that's not just because I like sports, but this leadership style focuses on preparing individuals for the future by building skills, challenging them to improve, and focusing on motivating people. And the one pitfall of this might be if the people you're leading are resistant to change or aren't open to constructive criticism or being challenged. However, this is a pretty general style, and I personally enjoy this the most because I find a lot of fulfillment in helping people get inspired to achieve goals, improve their skills, and feel good about their growth and contributions. And I've done this both by coaching sports and working in professional situations where it's more of a startup vibe and things aren't really established, where you have to train and develop processes and culture. So being aware of the various types of leadership and their connections to different situations can be valuable as a way to become more versatile and adaptive, another positive characteristic of being a leader. But overall, being a leader is about taking care of your people while you get to where you want to go. And there's no one archetype of a great leader, even they do all share some same common core qualities. And I challenge you all here to reflect on what you think is a great leader. And if you've been inspired by a great leader in your life or through a movie or book you really enjoy, that's had a profound effect on you, and what qualities those were and how you can emulate those in your own unique way. So thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Moumita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Graham. It was an insightful piece on leadership. Thank you. I would like to welcome speaker 2, Andrea Chocolate Butterfly, and her project is Pathway Dynamic Leadership, Reflect on Your Path, and the project title is Good Bones. Yeah.
Whatever you, no, I'm gonna leave that today. We're gonna take that up on the stage. If you give me 1 second, that'll help me out. We're looking for a table. We couldn't find one, and I spy. Played that as a kid. Okay, so if I can get the blue box. Appreciate it. So Nobody knows me. I like props. Okay, you can start my time. Because it took solidarity to get that done. So I don't know how many people like to watch HD TV shows, I can't even think. You know, the home improvement shows. I don't do any home improvement because everybody knows here I'm allergic to everything, so I'm not even trying to touch it. But I enjoy watching the shows. So one of the shows that I like watching is Good Bones. And so they take these ugly houses or houses that nobody else wants to touch. Well, and then they make them into these beautiful edifices and they sell them and they package them and everybody wants the house. But when they first got that house together, when they first approach that house or whatever house they pick, they have to look at the firm foundation. And so that was what I came in with Toastmasters. I came in as that ugly house. I had a good foundation, a foundation of knowledge, foundation of heart, a foundation of who I was and what I wanted to do. I didn't know how to say it. I didn't know how to present it. I didn't know how to package it, so I couldn't sell it. And so that's how I came into, that's why I called this Good Bones, because everybody comes in here with good bones. We all come in here with things that other people may have told you that's ugly, or it looks funny. I'm sure you've seen the house. They like what is it called? The ugliest houses in the world. And they go around to these houses and they have all these weird things. That was me. I'm weird. I do weird things. As you see, I have little lights on my shoes. You know, so I do things like that. I wear butterflies every day. I wear, and I said, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but I wear tutus. And I usually have wings. I know how to do this. I can move around. It works. So I like to transform. So when I came in, I thought I was, looking good. I thought I had it all together. I thought I had my message all together. And I had to transform, just like I am right now. I had to put on some extra stuff. I had to build up my stamina of speaking on the spot. I had to understand that everything I want to say right then might not need to be said. So that was the things that I learned in Toastmasters. And it says Toastmasters are where leaders are made. I've been stretched like beyond things that I thought I couldn't do. I helped start a club since I've been a Toastmaster. I did speech contests since I've been a Toastmaster. I've been VP of education. Never will do that again. I'm now the VP of public relations, and that's fun. I like that, so I might keep that. But I've learned that I'm able to do and capable of doing so many more things than I ever imagined Toastmasters would be. And the best thing, and I always tell people, they're like, why are you a Toastmaster? It's the people. The people in District 37 have embraced me so much. They've embraced me so much. And I did say right there, and I know we try to not do it, but you know why I did it? Because I will cry at a dime. So I'm trying not to cry because it's too early in the speech, right? It's a 10 to 12 minute speech. We don't want to talk. We don't want to cry right now. So going back to what I was telling you, you have a firm foundation. There are some things that you already know. So we're not trying to take away from what you know. We're trying to, number two, build on it. We're trying to build on what you know. We're trying to build you up. They say when you join a sorority or fraternity, they tear you down to build you up. I don't understand that. I can't do it. But here it's a kinder, a kinder rush week. You come up and you do your first speech, and you feel that adrenaline. You're like, these people don't know me. Are they going to like me? Are they going to like what I said? And at some point in my build-up stage, I stopped caring. I had to grow tough skin. I had critics. I had to speak up for myself. I had to let people know my boundaries. in an effective way and communicate that. It's okay to do that while you're being built up. When you're building up a house, when they're building up a house and they say, they go in and they say, there's termite damage. They don't leave the termites there because, you know, the termites want to be there. Okay, well, what do we need to do to get rid of the termites? Sometimes we have to tear things out and put some other things in. I had to tear out some things out of me, like that feeling of running. When I came in my first day, I was ready to run out the door. I said, if they have anything with nut products in it, I'm out of here. Now you're saying, if those that are new, you don't know, I'm allergic, highly allergic to nuts. That's why we don't have nut snacks at Queen City Toastmasters. But I was like, if they have anything nuts, that's my excuse. I can go. And I came in and it was nothing there. Okay, well, we're on to sign our name. Well, if I don't see anybody that look like me, I'm out the door. It was a tight time. And sometimes we're in spots where we feel like when we're building up, we want to be protected. So they put this tarp over the house to make sure that nothing gets in it. And we often do that with ourselves. We put up these tarps where people can't see inside. And then when you open up, they're like, wow, why do we wait to open up? Why do we not show them the progress? Because people want to see me transform into the chocolate butterfly. They love it. Kids absolutely love me. They come up to me and they hug me and they grab me, and even adults. They say, oh, your skin is so chocolatey. I see why you're the chocolate butterflies. That's not the reason, but okay, thank you. But yeah, so, you know, people love it. They love who I am now, but they might not have liked who I was 2 years ago when I came in here. I didn't know how to speak to Kendall. I didn't know how to speak Kendall's language. I was just speaking my own. I didn't know how to speak David's language. I was just speaking my own. And if you didn't get it, then you hurt me. I had to build up. I had to become the leader. So let's get it. You have a strong foundation. You built yourself up. Now what? Sometimes the person that's buying a house needs a customization. I had to learn to customize my message to dream it, believe it, pursue it, achieve it. I had to customize that because everybody might not need that, all of that. They might need a portion. They might need to believe in themselves. They might have to know that I'm worth something. And that might be the message I give today. I don't have to give you a whole message today. And then it might be somebody there at the next time who needs to hear, okay, so now you believe, you have a dream, you believe in your dream. What you gonna do with it? I have a new book out that's called, it's not a book, it's a journal, and it's the Dream Boss Journal. And in there I have a Denzel Washington quote, and it says, dreams without goals lead to disappointments. And that hit me hard when I saw that one. I said, I got to put it in the book. I got to put it in here because I think young people need to hear that. You can't just have a dream without doing something with it. And one of our Toastmaster friends, and I wish he was here today, John Capella, he said, Andrea, I like what you said. But if you don't put no action to it, basically faith without works is dead. And so I had to accept that. And I customized my message to meet somebody like John Capella. So now I said, okay, now I can speak on that. And maybe sometimes people just need to know they can achieve it. Is there something that you achieved that you would be proud to tell somebody else, to show somebody else coming behind you? Anybody? Yes. Yeah. Finish the marathon. Give him a hand. Now, I'm not going out to do a marathon because he did it. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm not gonna go do it. But I do have that is on my bucket list. to do a marathon. This little nerve thing kind of stopped me, but I'm going to do it. But to know that he did it might help one of us know that we can do it. Is there somebody else? Say something? Yes. He moved to America. But you know what he didn't tell y'all? Now give him a hand, because he's from Canada. What he didn't tell y'all is he's a doctor. Now, there's some people that's young and they might not know that it's possible for me to be a doctor. It's possible for me to come from Canada and come to America and be this esteemed professional person. And that's why I became the chocolate butterfly. That's why I came in Toastmasters, because I needed to sell that message. I didn't know how. I needed to increase in my career. I didn't know how. I knew I had the good bones. I had the firm foundation. I got the knowledge. I got the heart. I got the willingness. I got the drive. I believe in myself, but I didn't know. I was pursuing it real wrong, just wrong. And so what Toastmasters has done is allowed me, and I guess you're wondering why I put this little box up here. It allowed me to put my message in a nice little pretty box that wasn't too intimidating to anyone. It still shines. And you know, I like shiny things. So it still shines. And it may hold a lot of things in there that may help someone else do some very spectacular things, like dream. So in my toolbox, I always have dreams. And so that is why this box is up here, because I want to remind you that you can package yourself and you can make money. Now I can put my message out there and get the money for my message, not just put it out there for whatever. And now people actually come to me and say, can you come speak to these kids? Can you come speak to these adults? Because we as adults, we don't understand either. So when I first came, I only had a concept. I had a concept of what I was going to do. And it was a good concept. I just didn't know how to package it. But now it's packaged. And what started off as a concept is now book 1, Dreaming. Book 2, Good Little Caterpillar. Book 3, Lily Learns to Fly. And book 4, The Game of Life. And book 5, it's okay. Book 5 is coming out on Monday. It is a Dream Boss journal. You can reach out to us. You can come to me after. I'm going to be able to stay because mom's here today. So you can come to me and ask me about the books. They are for sale. We have a big Christmas special. You can get all 4 of those books for $45. And you can get the ebook for the Dream Boss journal if you buy all 4 books. So that is my little spiel on my journey as a Toastmaster. It's been wonderful. I thank you for embracing me and making me part of the family. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Andrea. I loved your speech, the way you engaged everyone, and it was a lovely presentation. Apart from that, I love your shoes. Yeah. Now I would, before going to the next part, which is table topics session, it's one of my favorite one. But before that, I would like to welcome one of you to come and share your holiday experience. Getting back to the theme of the session, if anyone wants to share their holiday experience over here. Anyone?
Just 2 table topics too.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was always my favorite holiday growing up as a kid. So we would go down to, it was called Little Cumberland Island, which is off the coast of Georgia. And it's an island that you can only get to by boat. And once you're out there, you're like sandy roads. We were on 3-wheelers and 4-wheelers, and it just felt like you were in the middle of nowhere. So we would have 20 people come together. It was all my parents' friends. Even if I was the only kid there, which I often was, I was like the only kid under 18 years old. I still had a blast because you were getting a lot of attention, kind of stay up way too late with all the adults. They would go out on the beach and just do midnight, rides on the 3-wheelers. It was an awesome time. So that was my Thanksgivings growing up. And now I want to hear about all of your Thanksgivings or holidays. So I'm going to be your table topics master this evening. Before we all descend into our food comas over the next few days, this is an opportunity to come on up here and give your brain some exercise. So to practice your impromptu speaking by answering a couple of questions that I've got around our theme on holidays. And so we will have 1 to 2 minutes, as Martin said, from a timer's perspective. And I am looking for volunteers. Martin, hold on 1 second. You've got a speaking role. We'll come back to you, but let's see if anybody else. Yes, Rockney, come on up. All right, Rockney, and I'm going to steal this from Andrew. I think lots of people have been doing it ever since, but I'm going to give you a number, or you pick a number between 1 and 5, and then you get to decide your fate on the question. All right, number 4. They're all pretty easy, though. Number 4, your question. When you are at a holiday gathering, do you like to be the host or a guest, and why?
During a holiday gathering, I would prefer to be a guest. That's just me being real. Because when it comes to crowds and when it comes to family, I'm pretty laid back. And getting around a group of people that you haven't had the opportunity to see in a long time, I just want to be able to kind of get around people, get around my cousins, my grandma, my mom, my aunts, and just fellowship and relax and just have a good time. Because, it's better that way because I can interact with my family. But trying to be the host is almost like you're doing work and it's almost like a job. So I just prefer, me personally, prefer just to be like a guest. So typically, we have a tradition on my mother's side of the family. My family's from Georgia. So my mom and my father were high school sweethearts. So they married, out of high school. So unfortunately, they're no longer together now, but it's a small town in Blakely, Georgia. It's Early County, peanut country. So it's 4 hours south of Atlanta. And but I do have some relatives in Atlanta on my mother's side. So those would be like my great aunts and my great uncle. So my great aunt is my grandmother's sister. And then, and my great aunt has children. So those are my second cousins. So majority of my family is in Atlanta. So typically every year for Thanksgiving, we have a celebration at my great aunt's house or one of the family members' houses. But this year, it's in Florida, so we're not going to be able to make it this year. But typically that's normally what we do every Thanksgiving. So.
Thank you, Rockney. That sounds like a fantastic gathering. I also grew up in Georgia, so we share that in common. I grew up in Athens. All right. Oh, we have Elvis online. Did he raise his hand? Is that what you're saying? He blinked. Does that mean he's in a hostage situation?
I'm available.
All right, Elvis. Do you want to participate in table topics?
I'll give it a try.
All right, pick a number. Pick a number 1 through 5 that's not 4.
3.
3. All right, your question, Elvis. What is your favorite holiday meal and dish, and why?
Oof. Thank you for the question. Although it doesn't seem like I'm a person who likes to eat everything. I don't have much preference, as I usually tell my friends I'm omnivorous. I can eat anything that can be put on a plate. But if we look at favorites and reflecting back on the holidays, since it's pretty much the same thing and people gathering in the family and it's almost same thing every year. The one that I most enjoy is it's pork. It's perennial, basically made grilled, not at the oven, but just made on the grill using wood or things that would make it smoke and tender and easy to swallow. So anything that goes with pork is good for me. And then after that, anything else, I can accompany it with anything. As I said, I can eat mostly everything that can be put on a plate. I'm easygoing and I like to eat a lot. So you put some pork on the plate and I'll be a happy camper. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Answer.
Sounds delicious. I am over the days, I'll be honest, of overeating at Thanksgiving. Like, I do not like how that feels anymore. Maybe when I was in my 20s and was exercising a lot more, but now, bad idea. All right, we have another volunteer. Martin, if you're ready, you can come on up. All right. Martin, 1, 2, or 5? 5. All right, so as Thanksgiving is a time to give thanks, what is something you are thankful for?
All right. What am I grateful for? What am I thankful for? This is honestly a pretty easy one for myself to answer. About 5 years ago, I moved down to the US. I had an opportunity to come to college here, play soccer on scholarship. And to be honest, I haven't looked back ever since. Right now, I feel like in the US, I'm from Canada, for those of you guys that don't know. I feel like in the US, there's a lot more opportunity compared to the US. There's more job opportunity when you're younger. I feel it's easier to make something out of yourself down in the US. I also feel that in the US, there's less red tape to go and do things. Myself, I want to be an entrepreneur. So I feel that pathway is going to be a little bit easier for myself. Except, of course, first I got to sort out the visa, as some of us know already. And the third thing that I like, and I think could be most obvious for you guys, obviously in Canada, we basically live in igloos in some parts. So coming down here in Charlotte, I walk outside and it's 15 degrees Celsius, maybe, I don't know, 60 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm still adjusting. I'll probably have to get that sorted before I do the US citizen test. But yeah, I mean, walk outside November, 60 degrees outside, walk out there with the long sleeve, living the dream. Call my friends back home. I'm living the dream. So without a doubt, right now, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be in the US and kind of do something here. So back to you.
I say stick with your metric system, Martin. It's a far superior measurement system than our archaic US versions. What is a foot anyway? All right, next volunteer. Remind me of your name again. Alex. Yes, welcome, Alex. All right, Alex, you have 2 options. Question 1 or question 2. All right, question 1. If you had to relive one holiday for the rest of your life, think Groundhog Day, the movie, what would it be and why?
For me, when I think of the holidays, the first thing that comes to my mind was Christmas as a kid. And maybe it's growing up, maybe becoming a little bit less enthusiastic. But I feel when I look back on these memories of a child, your first Christmas, maybe you can remember you're 6, 7, 8 years old. I feel there's just something more magical to it. Also, it could be real growing up, realizing that Santa might not be real. I'm still not sure on that. But looking back, I'd probably say Christmas between that age period of 8 to 10. I think that curiosity, you're going through these moments that you haven't experienced yet, and everything feels so new. Meeting your cousins, they come in from out of town in some cases. And since, this is one of your first times experiencing it, it really sticks with you. Now that I'm grown up, a lot of holidays I don't get to spend with my family. So during these times, I kind of look back, and sometimes, you look back with a smile and think, wow, those were the days. But at the same time, as someone who's kind of entering that different period of life, I think that in 30 years, I'm going to look back to where I'm today and wish I was 24 again. So right now, even though I'm kind of wishing I was a kid experiencing Christmas, I realize that, you know, in the present day, I am quite lucky. I'm very grateful for where I am. And I got to live the moment as well, not just look in the past.
Make new memories, make new traditions. I love it. We got one more question. We've got another volunteer. Bill? No. You were pointing at somebody. Oh, you were? Okay. Come on up. All right, you got one question left.
Right, I take number 2.
Yes, you remembered. Very good. All right, what are some family traditions that you have in your family that are associated with a favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday, family tradition is with a favorite holiday. One of the things that my wife and I had the opportunity to be together was almost like I guess it was a second honeymoon. I happened to be in Vietnam. Well, I was actually in Thailand, flying fighters in North Vietnam. And after so many days, or after so many missions, we would get what they call crew time off. And so after so many, I was able to get 2 of those together. And I brought my wife all the way from the United States over here, and she let the kids off at my mom and dad, and they came to Thailand. We had absolutely a wonderful time. And that was really our second honeymoon, because the first honeymoon was my first tour in Vietnam. I was on the way to England, stopped in Seattle, got married, and then went to England. So we didn't get much of a honeymoon, but that's one of the things that we kind of go back and think about over that time, because it was totally away from everything, that the war was gone. Well, the war was going on, but we were we were in a bliss. We just had no thoughts of anything else. Of course, our kids would pass our minds a little bit, but not much. So it was a wonderful time, and to me, that's one of our little holidays. So thank you.
Quite the story. Thank you, Bill, for sharing that. All right, that concludes table topics. Let's show our solidarity one more time and give a round of applause to all of our volunteers. Well done. And I will now turn it back to our Toastmaster of the Day, Moumita.
Master Jamie. It was a wonderful table topic session. And now I would like to welcome Toastmaster Tom for the general evaluation.
Good evening, everybody. I'll be providing a general evaluation on the meeting. But before I do so, I want to bring up the individual speech evaluators, who are going to be David for the first speech, Alan for the second speech. So, David.
Appreciate it. First, Mr. Timer, I want to just share my, I guess, holiday experience. And it's always been Thanksgiving was ours. I born and raised in Miami, had kids, so we would go to Disney once a month. And we'd always do Thanksgiving in Disney. And it would be Cracker Barrel, because Cracker Barrel is the place we would go. So I probably did 10 Thanksgivings at Cracker Barrel growing up with the kids, because that's just what we did. You can't afford to feed 5 people at Disney for Thanksgiving. Plus, you have to have reservations. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my evaluation of Graham. You started off, like closest person possible. You started with a quote by, I think it was Eisenhower, which kind of shows that you're given some credibility, but you're also showing you did your homework, your research. You didn't just come up here and blurt it out. You actually did some work. You had some good hand gestures. You counted the 1, 2, 3, and you got it right, which is important, because sometimes, 1, 2, 4 or something. So you did good there. Then you gave a definition of leadership, kind of explaining where you're going with your story. and you told us what you were going to tell us, and then you told us. That's always good. You seem very confident, comfortable, and not nervous. Were you nervous or? Were you? It did not. I don't think anybody here would. Yeah. Well, just so you know, it doesn't show, and I think that's a big part of people that speak. We all think that we're doing bad or we're nervous, but I thought you were perfect. You're spot on. And then you did the Toastmaster modules and pathways. You kind of touched upon those to kind of get to where your leadership was. And as a new speaker here with Toastmasters, you incorporated the word of the day, which is awesome. It's kind of hard to do sometime to weave it in there. Now, for room for improvement, you said that you were doing coaching because of sports, and that was kind of funny, but then you moved on from it. So in order to get credibility with everybody, you might have wanted to touch upon what you've done in sports as far as coaching or what your favorite sports were so we could all relate to you a little bit more, but I would have expounded upon that a little bit more. And then finally, you explained your perspective as a leader. And I think our perspective is what's important because that's how we relate to whatever subject we're talking about. And I also wanted to find out from you, because you did do the pathway modules. Did you find it beneficial? Did you find it lame? Was it good? Okay. That's okay. It's just good to know because I'm part of, leadership, and we're not in solidarity. We need to hear from other people, know what they're thinking about the pathways. But that was, again, a great speech. You seem very confident and look forward to hearing your next one. And Mr. General Evaluator. Thanks, sir.
Good job. Alan?
I apologize. I didn't realize that chair was so loud. I guess he didn't have to introduce me because of the noise I made from the chair. This has nothing to do with evaluating Andrea's speech, but since we're talking about holidays, the Ballantine Hotel has a Thanksgiving Day brunch for $125. I will not be going. But that is one of the places that came up with my friend and I when we were discussing places to go. Cracker Barrel was on the table as well, but we skipped that as well. We're going to try Walnut Grill. All right, on to Evandria's speech. Now you can start the time. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, and of course, Andrea, this was the capstone speech of Andrea's pathway. This is the speech that all of you will give at the very end of your pathway. And just for context, completing a pathway is the equivalent of giving about 15 prepared speeches. So Andrea has had more than enough practice speaking in front of this club and anywhere else that she's gone. I had the privilege of hearing her at another engagement a couple weeks ago. And I know a lot of things that we touch on with speaking. It's so much more than learning how not to use filler words or how to incorporate more pauses, better eye contact, and so on. Some of the more intrinsic values that we don't really talk about nearly enough when we speak is speaking from the heart and being able to show our vulnerable sides, which Andrea did very well tonight. I don't know what the iPad was really for. At first, I thought it was, oh, well, thank you. Although with that being said, it was pretty inherent that you really didn't need it because you basically just spoke right from here and reflected on the last 2 years of your journey as a Toastmaster and painted a very vivid picture for everyone else to either relate to or be inspired in their own journey. And I will say, I wouldn't even use the word weird. Unique, definitely. And I think that's another important point of Toastmasters is you learn how to express yourself and be unique in your own way. Because let's be honest here, if every single one of us looked, talked, and acted exactly the same way, this would be boring as hell. And that's another thing that I've learned myself is just being able to be authentic and open up about my own journeys. And I will say that every club I've ever been involved with, we all stand in solidarity with our uniqueness. And I loved how Andrea tied in a very good show on HGTV with the foundation of her journey as a Toastmaster and engaging us with humor and engaging us with questions about whether we've seen the show and also any goals that we've accomplished. And then leaving us with multiple calls to action throughout the speech as far as being able to channel our own ambitions and being able to try to incorporate all that we've learned in our own personal and professional endeavors. And there's always something, no matter how experienced or how good you are, there's always something to improve on. So Andrea, the one thing I found was just to slow down. I didn't hear any filler words except the one that you said, even though that was a legitimate, deliberate just to prove a point. But by slowing down, it would help to alleviate a lot of the double clutches that I heard, and then also give all of us a chance to absorb your points. So I will thank you for sharing your story with us, and congratulations on completing your pathway. And I look forward to your next pathway. Thank you.
Thank you. So Thanksgiving is in 2 days, and there are not as many people here tonight as there normally are, obviously. So because of that, I think the meeting had a little bit of a different vibe than it normally does. But I think that's a good thing, because in the past, Toastmasters has been compared to going to the gym, kind of, in that you're working on yourself, you're trying to improve yourself. And those of y'all who go to the gym know that feeling of being there on a weird time, like right before a holiday, right after a holiday, maybe late at night. You just had to get that grind in. And so I'm really proud of everybody for showing up tonight and getting that grind in. Moumita, sorry. Great job on taking on a big role, especially so early on your time in Toastmasters. Bill, I enjoyed your inspirational speech about wisdom. I couldn't agree more that we should always be continuing to further ourselves and learn. Martin, I appreciate the humor you brought to your timer introduction, especially since you, I guess, didn't know you were doing it. Graham, great job on your first speech. Now that you've given one, I'm gonna give one. Andrea, excellent vibe, as always. Love that you started standing at the top, jumped down, and just kind of let your heart speak. And impressive that you came up with this, I think, since just this afternoon, right? Yeah. You're awesome. And then table topics went really well. Good thematic questions about the holidays. Great job, everybody who stood up and spoke. And now for the timers report. Martin.
Awesome. All right, timers report. So I want to preface by saying this is just a report. It's not the end all be all. Take the information with however you want. I think when we're speaking, there's more important things to consider as to when we're judging our effectiveness. For example, body language, tone, speed, volume, rather than just the time. But with that said, I am here to give you reporting, give you information. So our prepared speeches, both were over. Graham came in at 708, so just a little bit over. And then Miss Chocolate Butterfly, we came in at 1313. Two unlucky numbers as well. I don't know what that means. Table talk, right. Table topics, everyone came spot on. Rockney came 145, Elvis Lopez 138, myself 130, Alex 128, and Bill 123. Kudos to everyone there. And then for the evaluations, David 218, almost like you've done this before. And then Alan 347. So again, a little bit over, but I appreciate, I think, the thoughtfulness behind the evaluation. So with that, that is the timer's report. I'll hand it back to Tom.
Thank you. Now for the grammarians report. Kendall.
All right, good speeches, everybody, tonight. So I'm going to give the grammarian report. So of everybody who well, before I give the grammarian report, I don't have a story about holidays, but I definitely have one about solidarity. So last night, me and my fiance, we went to the Hornets games. Hornets played the Celtics. And I don't know if anybody here is a Hornets fan, but it was a pretty crazy game. And normally, and it's weird because I've never seen that many Celtics fans in one place. They're pretty bad and they're numerous. So there was a lot of solidarity with them last night. But we did still win. And it was a very crazy game because I think we were down maybe like 9 or 10 within the last 3 minutes. And then with some good referee work and and some really, really nice threes at the end, very clutch threes from Melo and some others, we were able to tie it up and then hit the game winner in overtime. So it was very, very interesting, but there was just an abundance of solidarity with my fellow Hornets fans there last night as everybody screamed at the top of their lungs, and I nearly lost my voice, which is why I sound a little bit crazy today. Anyway, on to the grammarian report. So once again, great speeches, everyone. Great table topics. The folks that use the word of the day, thank you for that, are Graham, Andrea, Chocolate Butterfly, Jamie, David, and Alan. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody, but good job on that, guys. As far as some filler words, Graham, I think maybe you had maybe like 1 or 2 uhs. Andrea, you had maybe like and a so. Rockney, you had a couple so's in there. Elvis, if he's still on, he had about 2 uhs. Martin, you were pretty good. You didn't really have anything, so good job on that. Alex, you had maybe like three or so uhs. Bill, you're a clean slate all the time whenever I evaluate you. Tom, you were pretty good. David and Alan, you guys were pretty clear as well. And one quote that I did like, according to the grammarian script and log, you're supposed to put quotes, thoughts, and sayings that you liked. But I really liked your quote, Andrea, where you said, "Dreams without goals lead to disappointment," because I realized that there are some things that I had, and I was like, yeah, I really want to do that. And I just had no pathway to do it. And so it did lead to disappointment, but I definitely learned a lesson. I learned that next time I have a big dream that I would like to accomplish, if I don't have the steps to accomplish it, or at least get close to it, then I won't reach it. So I appreciate you reinforcing that for me. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. I have already given my general evaluation, and I do not have a story about the holidays. So I'm going to turn it back over to Moumita.
Coming back to the theme. So the best part of holidays are that we make memories. So concluding this Toastmaster session over here, I would like to hand it over to to the president of the club, Toastmaster Eric.
Warm round of applause for Moumita, who did an outstanding job. And thank you for everybody who participated in the meeting tonight, especially first-time speech from Graham, first-time general evaluator for Tom. Great job. And I don't know if I'm missing anybody who played a role for the first time here today. So thank you, everybody, for contributing. I wanted to do something a little bit different to close out the meeting. If you looked at the agenda for next week, we only have 2 speakers. And so I want to encourage people to sign up for next week as I introduced a new concept that we're going to hear about for the holiday season. And it's called the Holiday Season Wagrusi, which stands for Win a Gift Card Roll Sign Up Initiative. So, ladies and gentlemen, pay very close attention. If here and now you sign up for a roll, Wagrusi, you heard it here first. So if you sign up for a roll here today, you're going to be given a little paper, they're on your table, to write your name down for an entry into a gift card drawing that we're going to do this evening. And depending on what you sign up for, you get to put in more entries. So for example, because Bill and David already signed up, they have 2 entries into the gift card. If you sign up for timer, that's 1 entry. If you sign up for the other supporting roles, that's 1 entry. But if you sign up for Toastmaster, that's 3 entries. And if you sign up to give a speech, that's 3 entries. So a lot of excitement going on here tonight. So first question, do I have anybody who wants to, Martin? Toastmaster of the day, round of applause. So you see the paper on there? Write your name down on 3 of them. Write the little tiny yeah. So write your name down on 3 of them, and you're gonna scrumple them up and give it to David. Yeah, yeah. All right. So we got 1 Toastmaster. Anybody else want to volunteer for anything? Moumita, you're gonna be a speaker. 3 entries. So on your table, you write your name down 3 times, and David's gonna come around and collect them. Alan, you're outside the rules now. We'll have to take it back to the committee. We'll come back to you. I see Graham's hand up. Speech evaluator. Okay, so you could write your name down on 1 piece of paper. Tom? Table topics? Okay, fantastic. So if there's no more paper there, just tear a piece off and. Oh, you already have table topics? Oh, sorry, Tom. You have to pick something else because he already signed up for table topics. No. What would you like to do? What are you doing next week? Grammarian is open. Timer. Okay, so you get 1 entry. Okay, we're doing really well here. Okay. Anybody else want to sign up for anything that hasn't given me their name? Okay, perfect. David, once you get everybody's name, I'm going to ask Andrea's mom to do the honors of drawing the winner out. Hang on, do we have everybody's name from here? Andrea, what did you sign up for? Sorry, Andrea. Okay, is that, you got everybody's? Okay. Well, no, we could bring it over there. And you get to read the winner. Mix them up, mix them up. Okay, all right. Any name?
Graham Tuttle.
Congratulations, Graham. Do you want to know what your gift is? You get a $5 Starbucks gift card. Congratulations. All right. All right, well, in the interest of time, with that excitement, we're going to call tonight's meeting to a close. And again, I want to thank everybody for your excellent participation.